Imagine you're done designing a building. The material is good, the concept is good, the flow of space is good, everything is on point. However, you present it to the client, and the client asks you, how are we going to support this structure? And then you freeze. You have no clue. And probably to your response, you would say, we'll leave it to the engineers to figure this one out. A low blow. So in today, we are looking at 7 advices for young architects, or aspiring architects, or new architects. Stay tuned. Understand the principles of design, the principles of structure, what materials goes into what, right? And how the materials support itself, or even if the material could stand, is suitable for this kind of design or not. Principles and construction techniques, right? You first have to understand these things before you start experimenting with what kind of design, or probably a cantilever design, a color travel design, or any kind of design that you please to have. All right. So we first have to know the basics. All right. That's number 1. And number 2, who you know is just as important as what you know. I say that again. Who you know is much more important. Who you know is equally important as what you know. What do I mean by that? You have to network like your life depends on it, or your career depends on it, because it does. Because who you know today will link you, will connect you to what you're going to be or where you're going to work tomorrow. There was this friend of mine there was a seminar, and she attended this seminar. So after the seminar, she stuck behind and she mingled herself with the people who came to give the speech, and she got contacts down. And when it was time for us to do internship, she reached out to this individual, and she had a chance to do the internship there. And after the internship, she got hired. All this goes back to she reaching out after the speech. I wasn't there even, so I missed the chance. Anyways, so network like your life depends on it, and who you know is just as equal as what you know. Don't forget that. Point number 3, embrace mistakes, embrace failures. I think this is a common thing that you might hear anywhere, but it's really true. All the re-edits, everything that sets you back propels you forward. You understand? So in architecture, there's going to be a lot of proposals that is going to be turned down. I once watched a lecture from Zaha Hadid, and she's like only 30% or 35% of her designs are being built. And I was like, what? Just 35% of your designs? Come on. And it's everywhere. She has a project in every continent. A lot of projects is going to be turned down. There's going to be a lot of failures. Like, there's going to be a lot of changes. All of these things. It's a setback, something that you have to embrace. The more you fail, the more you learn. And like just as Michael Jordan said, I missed the shots that I didn't take. Number 4, develop a thick skin. You have to accept being criticized. You have to take it and filter it out and take what you need and use it to grow on it, right? Because whenever you design something, a lot of people are going to give an opinion about it, even if it's good or it's bad. You can't please anybody. You just have to do what you think is right. So you have to develop a thick skin. When people criticize you, you have to accept it with good faith and work upon it, right? In school, we finished designing, and I showed my project to one of my friends. He said that, what do you have designed? Your mama can also design this thing. And it stuck with me, I didn't really understand, but what I felt he was trying to communicate with me is, if your mom didn't go to a design school and you went to a design school, you are going to a design school, they put you both and your mom here, and what you have done is equally as good as what your mom can do, then bro, you didn't do anything. You weren't creative enough. So that's what he was trying to communicate with me, right? So I took it to heart, and whenever I try to design something from that point, I try to ask myself, can your mama do this? No, no, that's not what I mean. I try to ask myself, is this creative enough? Like, is there anything here that makes this building exceptional, right? I ask myself these questions so that I can keep changing and making the best of the design. So you always have to develop a thick skin when it comes to architecture. A lot of people will have opinions. There's going to be constructive criticisms. There's going to be bad ones. There's going to be good ones. And there's going to be ones that you would have to ignore because you cannot please everybody. All right. So next we have point number 5. Try to balance creativity with practicality. All right. Which is whenever you build something or whenever you're designing something, don't be too creative and forget about the practical aspect of it. Because when you think about it, architecture is for people to use. Architecture is function based. Frank said, function follows form, right? So you can't be too creative, neglecting the practicality from it. Whenever you design something, you have to ask yourself, how is this going to be built? After you have been creative, because don't take anything away from creativity. I love being creative. I love expanding. I love, going like, ooh, what are those? I like those aspects. I like those feelings, right? But whenever you design something, you have to ask yourself, how is this going to be built, right? Practical aspect of it, you have to ask yourself. So ask, how is this going to be built? Is this going to be functional? For instance, when you take the Falling Water by Frank Lloyd Wright, there is a lot of structural problems over the years after construction with that kind of daring design. So as we try to push boundaries, to be innovative, to be futuristic with our designs, you also have to be practical, right? And just like I said in the previous video, whenever you design something, it's for it to being built. You're not just designing for designing sake, or to design on a piece of paper or show a cool rendering and hang it upon your wall. No, it's not for that sake. You designing for it to being built for the function's sake, right? For it to test time. You understand? So when you push boundaries, you would have to be practical about it. All right. Point number 6, try to be curious. Keep learning, because architecture is evolving. Architecture is changing. Recently, AI is booming. Try to keep up with the latest AI software. Try to keep up with the latest updates with all these Revit, AI stuff. You have to keep learning. If you don't get on the train is going to leave you behind. So you have to keep learning. Try to be innovative. Visit places. Be practical. Read more books. Understand what is going on. Right? Ask questions. Be curious. Whenever you see something that you don't understand, or whenever that you see something that intrigues your interest, you have to go a bit closer and ask questions about it. Try to understand what is going on, how to do this. Ask questions. Ask a lot of questions to the point that you become so irritated by people, right? You have to ask questions. That's the only way you learn. We think of kids, for instance, they always ask why. They ask questions because they are new to their surroundings. They are new to this world. They are new to this life. So they keep asking questions in order for them to learn. And it's the same thing if you're a student or if you are an architect, a young architect, or even an older one. You don't know everything, and there's so much that you don't know, and it's a lot more that you have to know. So you always have to have a willingness of learning. Wherever you go, you have to ask questions. And just like Carl Jung said, everybody knows something that you don't know, that you have to know. As you have to give priority to yourself. Take care of yourself. Sleep well. Sleep on time. Eat well. Try to exercise. All right. Although there's going to be a lot of late night works and whatever, you have to try and make up the time to sleep. It's always important for you to work early in the morning than to work late at night. I prefer just wake up by 4:30 or by 5 rather than working till 2, 3 a.m. It's not so good for your health. All right. Right now, if you're young, you might feel like it's okay. But when you start aging, it starts to kick in. All right. It's best by 10, 11, go to sleep. You wake up by 4, 5, and you keep working on your projects. It's best that way. A healthy architect is a productive architect. Yourself is your best investment. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope I inspired you today. Bye for now.